lose, I think that'd be pretty much impossible to do.
That's not going to go per lap.
It wouldn't pay off, I can guarantee it.
Sebastian Vettel making the start that he wanted. Look, there he is. With Valtteri Bottas and off the track goes Max Verstappen, banging wheels there. And with the Toro Rosso lap, and that was the first lap, but they're going to be quite tough on exceeding track limits.
Istanbul Park, known as one of the best racetracks in the world, are on course to bring Formula One back to Turkey. But despite it being a top-class circuit, it hasn't hosted an F1 race since 2011, when Sebastian Vettel took glory. It opened its doors to the world in 2005 with high hopes and expectations, but the contract ended after 7 years. Despite the love and respect for the sport, it hasn't returned.
In the last 3 years of the contract, the spectator numbers, was falling, and it wasn't just falling in Turkey, it was falling everywhere. So it wasn't something unusual. And I think the culture in Turkey probably did not really sort of manage that problem very well.
People need to visit the country first of all. They need to come to different circuits. They need to basically be in different environments. And I think, obviously, geographically, Turkey's in a very good position, being between two continents. And it's basically the center of everything, I guess.
The main problem was that fans just didn't turn up to the Turkish Grand Prix, and it's a contradiction that hovers over the sport. Turkish people love cars but can't seem to connect to Formula One.
The more than 110,000 people was on the grandstand on Sunday, which is probably, I can say, the biggest ever sporting event that happened in Turkey. Following years, the interest of the people declined because the motorsport, unfortunately, is not ranking very high among the sports that people has an interest.
This kind of event is not just an event, it's a social activity. You don't just come to watch a race, you come to be in the area or in the arena with lots of people and with lots of activities happening for 3 days.
The search is now on for a Turkish driver who would generate more interest in the sport.
From the point of bringing new talents, Formula One is a very nice sort of challenge to look at, because a lot of the young kids from karting, they're all dreaming like my son did. They want to all go to Formula One.
You have to be talented. You cannot drive these cars if you don't have a good hand-eye coordination with a fast processing brain. Yes, you need funding as well. And there are a lot of drivers I know who I've raced against with who are very talented, are fast drivers, but have not made it to the top because they run out of funding.
Formula One chief Bernie Ecclestone called Istanbul Park the best racetrack in the world.
Actually, the layout is very unique. So it is anti-clockwise. It is one of the few anti-clockwise F1 standard tracks in the world.
I think one of the, let's say, most recognized sections of the circuit is turn number 8. There's 4 left-handers right after each other, and basically you're trying to keep a stable speed. So when you're doing around over 120 miles, 130 miles an hour, you have a lot of grip, and that's where you have to attack that corner.
If an agreement is reached, then Istanbul could quickly soon be ready to host the jewel in the crown of motorsport. But are there any potential bumps on the track?
We did our best to convince the government about continuation of the Formula One Turkish GP project. But the government doesn't want to fund the race because they think that they already spent around $100 million during those 7 years. Their point of view is that if the race would go on, the private sector should somehow find a way to fund the race.
Istanbul Park already has a number of events on its calendar as it waits for the FIA decision on whether it can play host to Formula One champions again. Samantha Johnson, TRT World, Istanbul.